Let's get straight to the point. Number 8. Brown eyes, the OG biological sunglasses. So you looked in the mirror and realized you have brown eyes? Join the club. Literally, you're in a group with about 80% of the planet. While you might feel like a default character in a video game, let's get one thing straight. You are the peak of evolutionary efficiency. Brown eyes are packed with melanin, the biological equivalent of premium window tinting. While your blue-eyed friends are squinting at a literal light bulb, your eyes are busy absorbing UV rays like a pro. From a scientific standpoint, having high melanin levels in your stroma isn't just about color, it's about protection. You're less prone to certain eye diseases and macular degeneration because your ancestors were smart enough to stay shielded. You aren't plain, you're the original blueprint. Everyone else is just a genetic typo that happened when someone moved too far north. You're the sturdy off-road vehicle of the human race, built to last, highly reliable, and honestly, way more practical than a flashy sports car that breaks down in the sun.
Number 7. Blue eyes, the great genetic glitch. Welcome to the section for everyone who thinks they're a protagonist in a YA novel. If you have blue eyes, I have some news that might hurt your ego. You're essentially a walking error message. About 6,000 to 10,000 years ago, someone near the Black Sea had a whoopsie in their HERC2 gene, which basically toggled the melanin switch to off. Now you and every other blue-eyed person on Earth share one single, very distant, and likely very confused ancestor. Science check, you don't actually have blue pigment. There is no blue ink in your iris. It's all a lie, called the Tyndall effect. Your eyes are clear, but they scatter light like the sky does, making them look blue. It's a literal optical illusion. You're sensitive to light, you're prone to glare, and you're basically the human equivalent of a high-maintenance smartphone screen. Pretty to look at, but keep it out of the direct sun, or it might just stop working. But hey, at least you can claim you're special while you're hunting for your sunglasses in a dimly lit room.
Number 6. Green eyes, the rare genetic cocktail. Oh, look at you, the 1%. Well, technically 2%. If you have green eyes, you probably mention it within 5 minutes of meeting someone. And honestly, you've earned the right to be annoying. You are the rarest common eye color on the planet, a result of a highly specific genetic cocktail involving about 16 different genes. Scientifically, you're a weird middle ground. You have a little bit of melanin, but you've also got a secret ingredient called lipochrome, a yellowish pigment. When that yellow mixes with the blue light scattering we talked about in the last section, boom, you get green. It's basically the same color theory you learned in kindergarten, but applied to your face. You're like a limited edition sneaker. You aren't necessarily better than a pair of brown eyes, but because there are fewer of you, everyone acts like you're made of emeralds. You're the biological equivalent of a shiny Pokemon. Just try not to let the rarity go to your head, even if your iris is basically a high-end chemistry experiment that actually worked.
Number 5. Hazel eyes, the indecisive chameleons. If you have hazel eyes, congratulations on having an identity crisis right in your face. One minute you're looking in the mirror seeing forest green, the next you're convinced you're just fancy brown. You're the human equivalent of a mood ring. Scientifically, your eyes are a chaotic masterpiece of light scattering and uneven melanin distribution. Unlike brown eyes, where the pigment is like a smooth coat of paint, your melanin is concentrated around the pupil, fading out into greens and golds toward the edge. This creates an optical theater where your eye color literally changes based on the lighting, the shirt you're wearing, or perhaps the phase of the moon. You aren't just one color. You're a Rayleigh scattering festival. You're the biological undecided voters of the world, refusing to commit to one side of the spectrum. People call you mysterious, but we know the truth. Your genetics just couldn't make up their mind during the assembly process. You're a beautiful, confusing mess of high-end biology that refuses to be categorized or behave in direct sunlight.
Number 4. Gray eyes, the Stormy Minimalists.
If you have gray eyes, you're basically a walking atmosphere. Less than 3% of humans can claim this color, making you rarer than a blue-eyed person, but without the main character PR team. While everyone else is arguing about pigments, you're over here with almost zero melanin and a stroma packed with extra collagen. That's right, your eyes look like a rainy Tuesday because of the way light hits those protein fibers. Science calls it me scattering, which is the same reason why clouds look gray. You aren't just faded blue, you're an atmospheric phenomenon. You're the biological equivalent of a noir film, sophisticated, slightly intimidating, and probably judging everyone from across the room. People associate gray eyes with wisdom and leadership, probably because you look like you've seen things that would make a brown-eyed person faint. You're the ultimate low-light specialists, capable of seeing in the dark like some kind of woodland predator. You're mysterious, you're icy, and you're basically a living storm trapped in a pair of irises.
Number 3. Amber eyes, the golden wolves of humanity. If your eyes look like they were dipped in liquid copper or 24-karat gold, congratulations, you're basically a werewolf. Amber eyes are incredibly rare, showing up in less than 5% of the population, and they're often confused with Hazel by people who don't pay attention. But while Hazel is a messy mix, you are a solid, glowing statement. The science behind this glow is a pigment called lipochrome, also known as pheomelanin. It's the same stuff that gives some birds and fish their vibrant yellowish hues. You have very little true melanin, but you're packing enough lipochrome to look like a high-end fantasy character. Evolutionarily speaking, you're the biological limited edition drop. You aren't just light brown, you're a distinct genetic branch that decided standard human colors were too boring. You probably get told your eyes glow in the dark, and while that's physically impossible, you definitely have that apex predator vibe going for you. You're the human version of a rare gemstone, expensive to look at, hard to find, and definitely aware of how cool you look in the sunset.
Number 2. Black eyes, the melanin overlords. Let's get one thing straight. True black eyes don't actually exist in humans. If someone tells you their eyes are black, they're either a liar or a literal demon from a supernatural TV show. What you're actually looking at is a pair of brown eyes so densely packed with melanin that they've achieved total light absorption dominance. Scientifically, your iris is just working overtime. While blue eyes are busy scattering light like a confused prism, your eyes are like a biological black hole, sucking in every photon that dares to cross your path. This isn't just a dark vibe, it's an elite survival mechanism. By absorbing almost all incoming light, you are significantly less likely to suffer from glare or eye strain in high UV environments. You are the ultimate evolution of the brown-eyed shield. You look intense, you look mysterious, and you look like you're constantly holding a secret that would break the internet. You aren't plain. You're the final boss of eye colors. You've reached peak melanin saturation, and honestly, everyone else just looks a little washed out compared to your high-contrast, light-swallowing perfection.
Number 1. Heterochromia, the genetic rebel. Saving the best for last, we have the glitch in the matrix known as heterochromia. If you have 2 different colored eyes, or even a splash of a second color in one eye, you belong to a group representing less than 1% of the global population. You are a biological masterpiece of oops. Scientifically, this happens when the distribution of melanin is uneven due to genetic mosaicism, or perhaps a minor mutation in the early stages of development. It could be complete heterochromia, where you're rocking 2 totally different irises, or sectoral, where one eye looks like it's still downloading its final color. While the rest of us are stuck with symmetrical sets, you're out here looking like a custom-made avatar. Historically, people thought this was magical or mystical, but really, it's just your DNA being a rebel. You are the ultimate conversation starter, the human embodiment of a limited edition error, and quite frankly, the coolest dude in any room. You don't just have an eye color, you have a personality trait that you didn't even have to work for. Whether your eyes are biological sunglasses or a genetic whoopsie,
Thanks for hanging out. Smash like, share this with your fellow mutants, and hit subscribe. We post daily here at Coolest Dude Explains, so keep those irises peeled for the next one. Stay cool.